My roommate is trying to pass her lease on to the guy I have a restraining order against, and when I told her about it, she said I just have to deal with it, so she will have to deal with the cops if he shows up. When I was a freshman in college, a guy named Pete, 21M, name changed, began harassing me to date him. I refused over and over again, and it ended with him ripping my shirt off at a party to try to touch my melons. I filed a police report and Pete was found guilty of assault. I have a 1,000 feet restraining order against Pete. Fast forward to this week, and my 22F roommate Shelly, 21F, needs a subletter to take over for her while she studies abroad for the summer. She didn't know she was leaving until 2 weeks ago and has been looking for someone to take over since then. She found Pete on CL and asked me if I approved. I showed her my court documents, but Shelly claimed she couldn't find anyone else to take over and that I would have to deal with it. We got into a heated argument and she just left the apartment. This morning, Shelly texted me that Pete would be moving his stuff into the apartment today. I called the police, but Pete hasn't shown up yet, so they can't do anything. Shelly also says she will be staying for the remainder of the week. The lease says that she can move whoever she wants in without my permission, same goes for me, but there's still the issue of the restraining order. The landlord told me that it was between Shelly and me to figure out. We both have 1-year leases that expire in December with the same terms. Update. Hi everyone. Thanks for reading this update. I have added some extra details at the beginning to better explain what happened. Things took some twists. Shelly and I were not close friends. We were simply roommates with our own separate bedrooms and a connecting kitchen/living space. I have only known her since last December when we originally signed our leases. We have hung out, but the only real connection we had is that she likes anime/Japan and I am Asian. The Craigslist ad that Shelly posted didn't have a photo. It turns out that she had used a generic photo of the two of us in an ad on our college's Facebook page, but Shelly took it down before I got a chance to take a screenshot. After I made my Reddit post, Shelly was locked in her room for 3 hours. I tried to talk to her, but she wouldn't come out of the room. She left her room to get food and just walked past me as if I didn't exist. Everyone who I called told me that until Pete actually showed up, no crime was being committed, so I couldn't report it until then. I just sat by the door and window watching for Pete's car. This continued until early Saturday morning when Shelly woke up for her morning jog. I was still on the lookout for Pete's car. I stayed up all night on the couch. Shelly tried to sneak out past me, but I woke up and blocked the door. I needed an explanation for why I was being forced to stay up all night waiting to call the police on Pete when she knew that I had a restraining order against him. Shelly's explanation was that the restraining order doesn't matter to her, that she has dealt with unreasonable people like me before, and that she has never listened to any restraining order before now, so why should she just for me? The more I listened, the sicker I felt. Shelly basically admitted to me that she is a complete jerk. I told Shelly that she was a real piece of work and that I was going to maintain my watch for Pete and that I would contemplate taking legal action. She told me that whether I liked it or not, she was done looking for subletters and that it was my problem. I told her to get out and go for her jog, and she left and came back a bit later and locked herself in her room again. Sometime around noon, I had accidentally fallen asleep because I had been awake 36+ hours at that point. I woke up and saw Pete helping Shelly move her stuff into her car. I didn't see him in the apartment, but he was helping her in the parking lot. I immediately locked them both out and called the police. Shelly and Pete came to the door again, and when Pete saw it was locked and when he saw me watching from the window, he blew up at Shelly. He started to ask her why I was in the apartment and why Shelly didn't tell him that I was the roommate. He demanded his money back and I could hear them screaming at each other through the door. The cops showed up and handcuffed Pete and Shelly. I told them my story and Pete said he had text messages and emails to back himself up. The cops checked his phone, saw texts from Shelly saying along the lines that her roommate wouldn't care about X, Y, Z because he was a chill guy. Pete had posted his own ad looking for a male roommate. That's right, Shelly is a liar too. The cops released Pete because he had proof that he didn't know it was me. I'm okay with this because I saw the emails/texts too. Shelly was charged with disorderly conduct and her mom came to get her. Sunday evening, Shelly and her mom come back to the apartment to finish packing for her study abroad. Shelly made some snide remarks about me definitely going roommate hunting to find her a subletter as I said I would. I ignored her. Shelly left for her plane this morning. And you know the good thing about separate leases? I am only liable for my rent, not hers. So I'm going to sit on my butt for the rest of the summer while she gets evicted for lack of rent payment.